I love the state of Iowa, and I love the soil on which we stand. And I can't fathom anything more ruinous to our soil than Bakken oil.
Okay, Charles, how about you? Why did you show up today?
Well, I'm here as part of the Iowa350.org movement, which is an international movement to try to let people know that actions like this are trying to protect our environment from carbon pollution, which the pipeline will contribute to, and so we're here to try to stop that.
Okay, tell me your name.
Reba McWilliams,
Okay, Ms. McWilliams, where are you from?
Mahaska County,
Okay, and why are you here?
because they're running from over a mile through our farm,
Okay,
about 100 yards from my front door. And I am not in favor of them polluting our land, because God's not going to make any more.
are you afraid they're going to exercise eminent domain on your property?
Probably because we've been fighting them for quite a while.
All right, you say you got 3 generations here, huh?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Good morning. Thanks for coming today. I don't think anything could have stopped you, right? I'm Kathy. I'm from Mingo in Jasper County. I'm so glad to see you all here. We're here today to tell the Iowa Utilities Board to reject the Dakota Access Pipeline. Thank you. I first heard about this about a year ago when my mail carrier handed me a packet of certified mail with information from Energy Transfer Partners and Dakota Access saying what a great thing this was for Iowa. Does that sound familiar to any of you? Yeah. Well, I don't know how you felt, but I felt really alone at that time. I felt like, how do I know if all these slick promotional materials are fact or fiction? I just didn't know where to turn. And then I started talking to people, and I started having people reach out to me about getting together to fight this thing, and look at us now. Hundreds of organizations and thousands of individuals all joining together to defeat this pipeline. We are an informed, unified force to be reckoned with, and we will have our voices heard today. So here's what we're going to do this morning. We'll have a few speakers here who represent those directly affected by the pipeline, but that represents all of us too, because all of Iowa is affected by this. And then we're going to have a march toward the community building together. We're going to have a little chant that we do, and then when we go into the community building, we'll be Iowa nice. We will not chant on the way into the building once we enter, but we're going to listen to the voices for and against this pipeline. And I think we know that Iowa is represented on the against this pipeline side, right? Okay, so let's have our first speaker. Well, I'm sorry, I didn't prepare anything today. I'm a landowner with my mom and my sisters, and I agree with everything she said. We felt so alone when we first got those letters, and I was so angry they wanted to take our land. We need to stand together and not let them take our land and destroy our natural resources and our water supply, and just let them know that we're Iowa, and we live here, we earn our living here, and we're going to be here for more generations to come.
Hello, my name is Jonas Magrum. I'm with No Bakken here in southeast Iowa. Thank you for being here this morning. No matter what you care about, and no matter what side of the issues you're on, whether you're for Obamacare or against Obamacare, for abortion rights or against them, everything that you care about is threatened by climate change. 97% of the world's climate scientists say that we are rushing towards a climate chaos cliff. And most recently, James Hansen, the first NASA scientist to testify before Congress almost 30 years ago, has said that if we don't leave 85% of known reserves, those are reserves already on the books of the major oil companies, if we don't leave 85% in the ground, we're going to exceed the 2-degree limit that has been set by the world scientists that we must not surpass. And the last thing, the very last thing that we should be doing in response to the threat of climate change is to build more oil extraction and transportation infrastructure. The world's climate leaders will be meeting in Paris later this month, but ground zero is right here at the Boone County Fairgrounds. Thank you for being here.
I'm going to have Nathan hold this. If you had to look at my rear end, I didn't wet my pants, I just spilled coffee all over. I was in a hurry to get here, and anyway. Well, good morning. My name's Dan Gannon. I'm a farmer over by Mingo, Iowa. If you know where Mingo, Iowa is. It's we have about 220 acres there that this pipeline crosses. But anyway, I want to say a few words. Here, I think you hold that. Okay. And this is kind of what I'm going to say when later on, but really for me, it's about the environment, of course, but my big thing is eminent domain. As a landowner, that the proposed pipeline will cut through the middle of our land for 0.8 of a mile, we feel that the use of the eminent domain to access our property is morally wrong. Yeah. The intent of the use of eminent domain, as I'm aware of, is for certain government projects that are done for the good of the public. That overrides private property ownership, and some of you might know about the Sato Bill and the Red Rock dams. They were put in by use of eminent domain, but our public, it gets gained from that because of flood control. Also, the interstate highway systems in the U.S. were put in back in the 50s to start with, and it had to do with the defense of our country, but that was for the public. The Bakken oil pipeline offers nothing for public use whatsoever, but it's misuse of our valuable and productive farmland for their gain, for profits. Yes. Some say $5 a barrel, 500,000 barrels of oil, do the math. That's $2.5 million a day. They're going to have more profits in their pockets, and take that times 360 days. You can see what they're after. Some of us have spoken, and I think this is important, and this is why we need to delay this. Some of us have spoken to the 2015 legislature regarding legislation which will potentially restrict the easement of the Bakken oil pipeline. We have a bill in the Senate right now. If we can get it back in the Senate, in the legislature in January, it's called Senate File 506, that we intend to bring up in that session, that needs to be addressed regarding the placement of an oil pipeline through Iowa. The bill ensures that there are better protections for us landowners in the permitting process. I find it prudent to wait until after that discussion and voting on this important piece of legislation before proceeding with the discussion of the pipeline. Let the people speak through their legislatures. We all know that eminent domain laws were written many years ago before there existed powerful oil interests that can manipulate our system with their money. I feel that that IUB is rushing to judgment on the Bakken oil pipeline. Approval by having these hearings now, when, as I stated in my objections, we need more time to evaluate the whole process. Remember this, the most powerful statement of all: no private property owner should have their land taken through eminent domain and transferred to another for-profit company. Yeah! But the most unconscionable thing of all is to allow this to happen. How can they even think this should happen? And this is important, if this is allowed, it will set a precedent within the state of Iowa on any other company for profit to take advantage of our compromised eminent domain laws. I again state this is a moral issue, and it's morally wrong for the 3-member IUB to even think about approving this. Thank you.
Okay, thanks everyone for your stories and all that great information. I just want to share a tiny little quick story of my own. On Tuesday, I sat in a meeting with the Jasper County Board of Supervisors asking them to issue a proposal against this pipeline. They took no action, telling us that their voices had no place in these proceedings, and that since there's pipeline all across Iowa already stockpiled anyway, somebody must already know how this is going to come out. Does that sound right to you? No! Me either. I have a prediction of my own how this is going to come out. When our voices are heard today, we're going to have a victory for Iowa landowner rights, a victory for Iowa's future in green energy, a victory for Iowa labor gaining permanent, well-paying jobs in the renewable, sustainable future, and a victory for the safety of our soil and waters for now and for generations to come. This is a done deal. So we're going to march in solidarity, join us in and start a chant.
All right, are you ready? Here's how it goes. Dakota Access, let's be clear. We don't want your pipeline here. Dakota Access, let's be clear.
We don't want your pipeline here. Dakota Access, let's be clear. We don't want your pipeline here. Dakota Access, let's be clear. We don't want your pipeline here. Dakota Access, let's be clear. We don't want your pipeline here. Dakota Access, let's be clear. We don't want your pipeline here. Dakota Access, let's be clear. We don't want your pipeline here. Dakota Access, let's be clear. We don't want your pipeline here. Dakota Access, let's be clear. We don't want your pipeline here. Dakota Access, let's be clear. We don't want your pipeline here. Dakota Access, let's be clear. We don't want your pipeline here. Dakota Access, let's be clear. We don't want your pipeline here. Dakota Access, let's be clear. We don't want your pipeline here. Dakota Access, let's be clear. We don't want your pipeline here. Dakota Access, let's be clear. We don't want your pipeline here. Dakota Access, let's be clear. We don't want your pipeline here. Dakota Access, let's be clear. We don't want your pipeline here. Dakota Access, let's be clear. We don't want your pipeline here. Dakota Access, let's be clear. We don't want your pipeline here. Dakota Access, let's be clear. We don't want your pipeline here. Dakota Access, let's be clear. We don't want your pipeline.
We're going to take a group shot before we go in. I got one more chant for us, though, if you're ready for it.
We don't want your pipeline here.
Dirty pipelines, we don't need them, Dakota Access,